On a warm summer night in 1969, the very foundation of America was shaken to its core by a series of brutal murders that would become etched in the annals of infamy. These were not mere killings. They represented a chilling manifestation of a dark ideology, a twisted philosophy that ensnared the minds and hearts of an entire generation. But what could possibly drive a group of seemingly ordinary individuals to unleash such unspeakable acts of violence? This is the story of the Manson Family Murders, a tale woven with threads of manipulation, madness, and the haunting echoes of a lost era. To grasp the horror that unfolded in the Hollywood Hills, we must first rewind the clock to the summer of love in 1967. A cultural revolution was blossoming as young people across America embraced ideals of peace, love, and a fervent quest for enlightenment. Yet beneath the surface of this flower-powered utopia, a dark undercurrent was brewing, ripe with disillusionment and despair. Enter Charles Manson, a man whose magnetic charisma and cunning intellect drew in the lost, the vulnerable, and the searching souls of the era. Manson was not merely a man, he was a master manipulator, a puppet master pulling the strings of his followers, who came to be known as the Manson family. This group comprised disenfranchised youth, seeking meaning in a world that had turned its back on them. They found solace in Manson's elaborate delusions of an impending race war, a chaotic uprising he ominously termed helter-skelter. Manson preached that a violent upheaval was imminent, positioning himself as the leader of a new world order, a prophet of doom cloaked in the guise of enlightenment. As Manson spun his tales of doom and salvation, his followers became entranced, caught in the web of his manipulation. He convinced them to sever ties with their families and societal norms, luring them with promises of love, freedom, and a sense of belonging. However, what they ultimately found was not the paradise they sought, but rather a tyrant who would lead them into the depths of darkness. That fateful night on Cielo Drive, the lives of 5 innocent individuals would be tragically extinguished. Among them was actress Sharon Tate, 8 months pregnant, enjoying a peaceful evening with 4 of her friends. Unbeknownst to them, a horror was about to descend upon their lives, an unimaginable nightmare that would forever alter the fabric of American society. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the land, Manson sent his most devoted followers, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian, to carry out his sinister orders. "Do it," he commanded, and they obeyed without question. The violence that erupted was not merely brutal, it became a grotesque spectacle of chaos and fear, a chilling echo of the very ideals they once embraced. As the family members entered the home, they unleashed a torrent of violence that would haunt the nation for decades to come. Sharon Tate, in a desperate plea for the life of her unborn child, cried out in anguish, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The horror unfolded in mere minutes, yet it felt like an eternity, a nightmare that would leave a scar on the American consciousness. The aftermath became a scene of unimaginable brutality, a stark contrast to the peace and love that had defined the previous years of the counterculture movement. The following morning, the world awoke to the shocking news of the murders. The haunting images of the crime scene would be seared into the collective memory of the nation. 5 lives extinguished with reckless abandon. Yet this was only the beginning. The Manson family would go on to commit further atrocities, leaving a trail of devastation that would ripple across Los Angeles and beyond. As the investigation unfolded, detectives began to untangle the twisted web of Manson's influence. Eyewitness accounts painted a chilling picture of a cult-like atmosphere, where loyalty to Manson eclipsed any sense of morality or humanity. "He was like a god to us," one follower later confessed, encapsulating the disturbing dynamic at play. The question loomed large in the public discourse. How could one individual wield such extraordinary power over another human being? In 1971, the trials began, capturing the nation's attention and sparking a media frenzy. Manson, with his wild hair and piercing gaze, became a chilling symbol of the dark side of the 1960s, a stark reminder of the era's potential for both profound love and unimaginable horror. His followers, once perceived as innocent victims, were now exposed as willing participants in a horrifying ideology that led them down a path of destruction. The courtroom transformed into a stage for Manson's theatrical performances as he reveled in the chaos he had orchestrated, delighting in the attention and fear he inspired. But what does this story mean for us in the present day? The Manson family murders serve as a haunting reminder of the fragility of human nature and the dangers inherent in blind loyalty. In an age where misinformation spreads like wildfire, the allure of charismatic leaders remains a potent force, capable of ensnaring even the most discerning minds. We must ask ourselves, how do we protect ourselves against the manipulation of those who prey on our vulnerabilities? In a world often overshadowed by darkness, the legacy of the Manson family urges us to reflect on our responsibility to seek truth, foster connections, and stand firmly against division. The echoes of the past can impart invaluable lessons about humanity, love, and the choices we make in our daily lives. As we take a moment to reflect on the tragic events of that summer night in 1969, let us honor the lives lost by choosing empathy over apathy, understanding over hatred. The story of the Manson family is not merely a tale of horror. It serves as a clarion call to action, a reminder that we possess the power to shape our world for the better. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of history's darkest chapters. As we close this chapter, let us carry forward the lessons learned and strive to create a world where love triumphs over fear. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember the importance of compassion in a world that often forgets. A cultural revolution was in full swing, with young people flocking to the streets, embracing peace, love, and a sense of freedom that felt almost intoxicating. It was a time of experimentation, where the boundaries of society were pushed, and the ideals of communal living and spiritual exploration took hold. But amidst the vibrant hues of tie-dye and the euphoric sounds of rock and roll, darkness lurked just beneath the surface. In this climate of change and upheaval, Charles Manson emerged, a man who claimed to be a prophet, a leader who would guide his followers into a new world. Charismatic and cunning, Manson preyed upon the disillusioned youth, weaving a web of promises and delusions that would ensnare them in his twisted ideology. He preached a philosophy that blended elements of apocalyptic prophecy, racial strife, and the seductive allure of a counterculture revolution. With his band of followers known as the Manson family, he created a microcosm of chaos. They lived in communes, embraced drugs, and danced to the rhythm of Manson's twisted ideology. But as the summer of love began to fade into the shadows of despair, so too did their innocence. Manson's teachings took a darker turn, a descent into madness that would culminate in violence and tragedy. Manson believed that the world was on the brink of an apocalyptic race war, which he ominously dubbed Helter-Skelter. He envisioned himself as the catalyst, the one who would ignite the flames of chaos and destruction. His followers, yearning for purpose and belonging, became willing participants in his dark vision. The line between love and hate blurred, and soon they were prepared to spill blood to fulfill their leader's horrific prophecy. On the night of August 8, 1969, the Manson family descended upon the home of actress Sharon Tate and her guests. What followed was a night of horror that would leave an indelible mark on American history, an event that would not only shock the nation, but also serve as a grim reminder of humanity's capacity for violence. But the story does not end there. The aftermath of these murders would spark a media frenzy, a trial that captivated the nation, and a legacy of fear that still resonates in the shadows of our collective memory. Join us as we delve deeper into the twisted psyche of Charles Manson, explore the lives of his followers, and uncover the chilling events that forever changed the landscape of America. This is not just a story of murder. It is a cautionary tale of how easily the human spirit can be led astray by the dark allure of charismatic figures. Join us as we delve deeper into the twisted psyche of Charles Manson, the lives of his followers, and the chilling events that forever changed the landscape of America. This is not just a story of murder. It is a cautionary tale of how easily the human spirit can be led astray.